Hey guys, Technomentary here with the video for you guys. In today's video, we're going to talk about iOS 15 on the iPhone 6s Plus and whether you should upgrade to iOS 15 and if it's really worth upgrading to iOS 15. We're going to talk about a couple of the features that come with iOS 15 and some things we notice across the performance, battery, and overall usage of the software on iOS 15 on the iPhone 6s Plus. So not to get confused with the 6 Plus, because the 6S Plus, of course, here you'll notice here that S represents the S for the 6S instead of the regular 6 Plus, which again doesn't have that S. This model actually updates to iOS 15. The other 6, that's not the S model, will not update to iOS 15. In fact, that will stay on iOS 12 and it's been on iOS 12 for some time. As you know, you can't get past that update. So 6S Plus does update to iOS 15 now. That is going to be probably the biggest thing going for this phone because, as we know, last year, beginning of last year, sort of the rumor is that it wasn't going to get iOS 15 any longer, but to our surprise, it was able to get iOS 15, which now holds the record for the longest supported Apple device on the market. And that's really why this phone, again, sort of one of those outlier phones, and it's surprising for Apple because comparing to other smartphones, phone being able to get supported for 6 years or so again is amazing. Now let's talk about the downloading experience of iOS 15 here. So download process takes around good between 30 minutes to 45 minutes. You can download it through, of course, the regular Wi-Fi update, or you can use iTunes as well. So as you can see, once we download it, we got a couple apps going on. The download does take about somewhere between 5 to 7 gigs of data, so you're going to lose some. You'll need to make space if you have a smaller phone. As you know, the iPhone 6s Plus was released back in 2015. Now that's going to be a long time, even going into 2021 and 2022. You have this phone. It's a 5-point-inch display. Couple unique features of the 6s Plus is that you had that 3.5 millimeter headphone jack and that home button, which again makes a lot of sense nowadays, especially if you're going out with mask and such. So those are interesting thing about the iPhone 6s Plus. So when we did upgrade to iOS 15, a couple things we noticed is that, of course, it updates pretty well. You get all of the new features and such to it, but there are missing features on the iPhone 6s Plus that you don't get compared to a device that has A12 Bionic chip. Remember, the iOS 15 was released for iPhone 13 lineup, so a phone that's sort of years behind doesn't get all those features, although they are available for the software. So a couple of the features not available for the iPhone 6s Plus that you're going to notice, it's going to be, first thing, it's going to be live text. So there's no live text on the 6s Plus. You won't be able to have spatial audio as well, so that's another feature that's not available on this phone that has that A9 Bionic processor. Other things like visual lookup in maps, you don't have that features available on it. You also don't have immerse walking directions, which another update to the app that happened for the walking for the maps app isn't available. Other things that's not available is face during FaceTime, you do not have portrait mode. So although you can send FaceTime link, you're not able to do that portrait mode and that spatial audio that comes into play. So key features are missing, but you do get features like the focus mode that's available. Again, that's a new feature. You also have those big app icons that are available. You get share play, that's also available. All of the major privacy settings and updates, security updates that happen are still available. You do have updates to Safari where now you have a cleaner UI. You get those tabs going on for it, which if Apple needed to do a revise of those, finally came around updating Safari application. So those minor updates are available, but some of the key features are missing on it. Now let's talk about probably the biggest thing we want to know about is the battery life. So how well does the battery life handles on iOS 15? Well, the battery life, surprisingly, there's actually reports that the battery life actually drops between 30 minutes to 45 minutes from the base benchmark test on iOS 14. And if you go back to iOS 13, you're going to see almost close to 45 to 1 hour difference. So if you're on iOS 14, probably recommended to stay there if you're really concerned about your battery health. Remember, this phone's been around for a while, and if you had it for a couple of years, you're going to notice the battery health does drop over time. That's not because of the software update. It's just that over time, if you use a phone, no matter what phone it is, the battery health deteriorates. So you don't get that 100% capacity like you did. So even though the iPhone 6s Plus does have that 2750 mAh battery, it's a huge battery because it is a big phone. It's a 5.5-inch phone compared to the iPhone 13 lineup, where you have those 3000 mAh batteries. So 6s Plus, for its time, it's a huge battery upgrade compared to some of the smaller 6s phone itself. But we did see noticeable difference in terms of battery drop, in terms of usage. So recommended to stay on iOS 15, and if you're on iOS 13, probably go to iOS 14. And eventually, if you really need to go on iOS 15, the reason why you might need to go is going to be probably apps. So if you have certain apps that are newer that require iOS 15, that's going to be the time when you do need to upgrade your phone to it. But in terms of most of your applications that we have launched and tested so far, they work like they normally do. Again, performance wise, there's not too much that you're going to see. It's of course the 6s Plus on an A9 Bionic chip. It's going to be a little bit slower in terms of iPhone 13 on iOS 15, and that's the case with the older phone with the aged hardware. You notice when we open up apps here, they eventually open up. You do have to be a little bit patient when it comes to even browsing. When we go browse on even a decent Wi-Fi, you notice here you have that little bit of wait time that does happen. Again, this is a great phone in 2022 for simple things like calling, texting, FaceTime, and just using light games. All of your popular apps, again, are supported because remember, because the phone supports iOS 15, the latest version, all of the major apps are working as expected. So nothing there to report. So overall, iOS 15 on the iPhone 6s Plus, hold off is our recommendation. But if you need to, because of all of your, if you have applications that require iOS 15, you're probably going to have to upgrade sooner or later. But that's kind of our review of iOS 15 on the 6s Plus. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. We want to hear from you guys. If you guys have used this phone or upgraded to iOS 15, what has it been in terms of experience? Have you noticed anything different? Leave a comment in the comment section so that everyone can also see your feedback. Thanks for watching, guys. See you guys next time.